one, a scrapbook journaling, because this is what I do. Is sometimes I might be somewhere and I don't have my journal in front of me, but I do get a piece of paper and I will write an idea down. Like for example, I have something over here. Like I was listening to a podcast and I got this really cool idea, so I kind of like wrote it down. Now instead of me wasting time and transferring the notes from this paper to a journal, I thought, let me just have a journal where I simply stick the paper, like just stick the paper itself. So that is the reason why I have this, what is known as a scrapbook journal. Now, this is not an original idea. I've seen other people have a scrapbook journal where they actually put all kinds of stuff inside, like tickets to the cinema if they go somewhere and they drank like a beautiful bottle of wine. They would peel off the wine label and stick it in their book. So they are like amazing ideas. I catch myself, like, because right now I'm a student of cinema. I'm learning cinema. I'm learning YouTubing. I'm learning about my cinema camera, lens, aperture. I'm learning all these things and I'm writing notes, and I need to put all my notes in one place. Now, those of you who are following my channel, I do have my editing journals. So, but in this journal, I tend to write things. I can stick paper also. But this guy right over here is more for sticking the paper. It does not mean that I'm not allowed to write in it. It's more for this guy. Now, there are a couple of rules to having this book. So what I will do is I will make sure that I will leave the first 4 pages totally blank, because they act like my vision board. Because when I am looking at this book, I want it to inspire me. Like that's what it is. Like I want to be focused. I don't want to I want to leave everything out and I want to focus, and I want to say, okay, I'm at work. This is what I'm doing, and this is my journal, and it's going to tell me, keep me on track, like what I'm doing, so that my mind doesn't get distracted and all of it. And that's why journaling should always be pen and paper and never your devices. So the first few pages, what I will do is I don't know if you can see it, but I've already written a few things on stickies, so I can also write notes on these guys and I can stick it in my book. So the first couple of pages I will leave for my vision board. That means I will print certain pictures and photographs that has to do with what this book is about, like movie editors and cinematographers and directors, and maybe what they said or something like that. I will use these 4 pages. And then I'm going to leave another 4 pages because I write a lot. I've been doing journaling for more than 20 years, by the way, so I love writing. So I will leave at least another 4 pages for contents. Now, these are very important because what happens is, and if you're following my channel, it's called folio. That means it's page numbering. So I will always write numbers, page numbers on all my journals. I do it on across the board. Like every single journal of mine, I will always do page numbers. It's because so that way later on, if I want to look for something, it's easy for me to, try to look at the page number, and I know exactly which page I wrote something and stuff like that. So I will dedicate a few pages to it. Now, this particular book I have right over here, it is actually what is it? It's 40 pages. Now, I deliberately buy thin books and not thick books. The reason why I do that is because these books can be very heavy, and when something is, like, for example, take a look at this book. Oh my God, it is really it is heavy, guys. Okay, it is like coming close to the weight of my laptop. And if I put it in my bag and carry it around, you know what? It becomes heavy, because remember, I'm also editing on the move. So sometimes I am taking my laptop, sometimes I'm taking my camera, sometimes I'm taking my tripod. I have a speed editor, so sometimes I take my speed editor. I have an MX3 master computer mouse, so I take that also. I also take my mouse pad. The next thing you know, I'm carrying like luggage. So it's important that I actually get a very, oh, here's my cat. Hi, sweetie. So it's very important that I actually have a thin book, because it really, really helps with. Let me see if I can move up. Excuse me. Can I do my editing, please? Please, thank you. To me, it's super important that when I go and shop for books, I try not to get any kind of a big book, because there's no point lugging around a big book. It's just, see, so what happens is, like, when you buy yourself a really nice big book, Sometimes it gets so heavy, and sometimes you're packing your bags because you're going around somewhere, maybe to the cafe or maybe you're traveling, and suddenly your book is too big. And guess what? You cannot sacrifice your camera, you cannot sacrifice your computer or your mouse or something like that. The next thing you know, you have to leave your book back. So because of that reason, I always go and buy a very thin book. It may look a little bit simple, it may look a little bit silly, like you're having a journal, and why is your book so thin? It's because, remember, you can always buy another book and stick to it and build as you go. It's not necessary that you must have one big book, right? You can have like multiple books. This is my style, and I noticed that most people don't like to journal is because, oh my God, we need to buy this really big book, a really nice book. It's too heavy. It's not easy to walk around. And next thing you know, like, you know what, they're not journaling at all. I don't want to give myself that excuse. I say a journal means you want to. This book should inspire you to do work. That's the idea. So this is what this book is. It's allowing me to put all my ideas here and everything that I have learned into this book. Now, this is what I'm doing. Now, if you're a student learning any other subject, if you're doing anything else, this is a perfect example of how you're going to do it. You can write notes on study cards like I do. This is actually a script for an upcoming episode. I wrote down some talking points, and I'm, of course, working on it a little bit. But guess what? I don't have to lose this one. All I have to do is take this and stick it in my book, and that's it. It's beautiful. I can also make some side notes if I need to. I can just keep changing pages. I can refer to each other. I don't really seal the page down to my paper. What I do is I simply put a stick. I just glue the center and I just stick it so that way it doesn't fall out. And if I need to move it around, I can simply take it off, go to another page, and stick it over there if I feel that that's what I need to do. So it gives me that flexibility of moving things. Now, if you are at home a lot and you think your best is to work, that you're at home a lot and you are working at home a lot, then you could do this even on the wall. Like you could use your wall to to do all that kind of stuff. But I like to have it also in my notebook. I do use my wall, by the way. I have a wall over here. And whenever I'm working on a project, all the project details will be on my wall. So that way, when I'm sitting here, I just look and I know what I need to do. Keeps me focused a little bit. This is my writing table. My editing table is actually over there. So I like this style. And this is a very nice way of journaling. So this is like for those of us who are not ready to sit down with the book all the time, but we like writing on cards like this. So what you can do is you can write on cards like this, title it, date it, all that stuff, come back to your book and stick it in your book. And there you go. It's so cool. I actually bought this book some time back. Like when I go to a shop and if I see something I like, I will just buy it. $2. And I buy these kind of cards. I also have color versions, by the way. So I do like to color code certain things. That way I can keep all my notes, all my thinking together. I like compartmentalizing my thinking a little bit, is because it allows me to focus a little more. I feel like I focus much better when I tend to put things in certain boxes. So this is like my writing, all my writing things, my pens, everything writing, all my favorite things are right here. Everything is right over here. And of course, if I am doing anything that is more computer digital based, then I will be sitting on that table over there. So this is like how I do this. I hope this episode inspired you a little bit to maybe think your own way of how you want to do it. Like I said, I've been doing this for more than 20 years, so I already have a pattern. I already know what I do, how I do things. Thank you. See you guys in my next episode. If you like and subscribe to my channel, if you already did, thank you so much. If not, please, if you can, because it does help me out a little bit. It's very important. So thank you so much. I always do that, right? Okay, I need to page number. I have these two pens. One is really fat. One is fat on one, thick on one side, and it's thin on the other. It's thin on the other side. So I like these kind of pens because they have double weight. For this particular book, I will be making my page numbers a little bit more bigger. So I'm not hiding my page numbers. I want my page numbers to be a little bit more visible. And also when I am page numbering, I will not page number both sides. I will only page number on one side because that's good enough. I don't need to page number every single thing because all I need is just the open page. Because to me, this page is one page. It's just divided into two parts, but it's one page. So I don't look at page one and page two. I'm looking at one page, the second page, the third page. That's how I like to think. That's how I like to design my books. So this way, um, I have more space to think. Like, space is important. So when you're thinking, you don't want to be cooped up in a small little space. You want to be able to write openly. And that's one page and maybe one thought. 40 pages on this book, maybe I can have 40 thoughts or 40 ideas. So hold on, let me see. That's one page, that's two page for vision board. That's one page, and that's two page for table of contents. And then I will come here, and then my page one will start right over here. So let me do it. All right. One, two,